Well, Thrive Nation, one thing that Clay Staires and I get to do is to help wonderful people work on their business and to transform their business from maybe a job that seems overwhelming at times as a self-employed person into a business that they love. And we're passionate about helping you to grow your company because we're passionate about the clients that we serve. And this next guest, this next person I'm going to introduce you to, this next testimonial, is a guy that I actually hired him to build my home.
Yes.
And I was very, very happy with the home building process. My wife was super happy with the complete project because she worked with him to design it. So I want to make sure my wife is happy with the house that she co-designed. And I kept hearing great things about today's guest, Brian Wiggs, from other people that have used Brian Wiggs. And then when we started on the initial path, Clay Staires, one of the things we do with our clients is to help them improve their branding, which involves them calling up their current and former customers and to gather video reviews.
Yes.
And every person that we contacted, they wanted to do a testimonial for Brian Wiggs because they loved in the product that he built for them. And so without any further ado, Brian Wiggs, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, I am doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad to talk to you guys.
Well, Brian, I'm going to hit you up with 5 quick questions, and I'm going to go to Clay Staires to interrogate you here.
Here we go.
How did you first hear about our team, Clay Staires? How did that happen?
Originally, Clay and I met at a Chamber of Commerce meeting here in Jinx, Oklahoma, in my hometown here. And he had some good things to say. So I went up and talked to him afterwards, and he started telling me about the way you guys work, and it sounded very intriguing. So that first connected us a couple of years ago.
And you guys meet every week. Every week you meet and you leave the meeting with homework. And just like with all of our clients, you leave with homework and we leave with homework. What kind of improvements have you seen Clay Staires and the team make to your business over these last couple of years?
I think the main thing that it's changed in me, and it's what Clay told me one of the very first times we met. He said the biggest hurdle was going to be me, that I was going to have to do some mindset changes. And that seemed okay. I thought I could be ready for that. But when you really get into it, you realize I have a lot of mindset changes to make. And you have to make them one at a time. You have to dig them out. And so Clay has helped me with that week by week, reminding me of the things I need to be doing and helping me understand better how to grow my business.
Now, question number 3 of 5 here. I'm going to pull up your website, and a lot of people tell me that they have someone who helps them with their mindset, and they have someone else who helps them with their website, and someone else that helps them with their online reputation, and someone else who helps them with their online ads. How has working with Clay Staires and the team helped you, having one person or one team that does all of that?
Well, it's great to have it because we don't have to mess with the technical piece of it as much. We're really good at building houses. We're not great at building websites or trying to do all the other things that are backroom pieces that you need to have. And they're just great to be able to hand this to them and go, this is the way I want my story to be told, and they tell it.
Now, question number 4, for anybody out there that would be considering working with Clay Staires and the team.
Are you numbering for those at home?
Well, I'm doing this. Well, what is because
I like that. I like for those doing the home version.
I want people to know. I mean, there are certain things I get asked all the time by potential clients, and I want to hit on those.
I love it.
So, number 4, what would you say to anybody who's thinking about working with Clay Staires and the team? What would you say? What would be your thoughts?
I think that he is a genuine. He's available, he's wise, and he's infuriating, which is the way I've been describing.
And then finally, my question number 5 is the weekly meetings. What I find is that consistent people who grow businesses, they embrace this idea. Some call it Kaizen. I'm not going to argue about the philosophy you have to endorse here, but the idea of continual improvement, the idea of that every week, you're whittling away a different iteration. You're making it a little bit better, 1% better a week for 50 weeks, 2% better a week for 50 weeks, as opposed to an event. How has the weekly, that methodology of having a weekly meeting where our team leaves with homework and you leave with homework, how has that methodology impacted your business?
Well, of course, it helps us as we're trying to grow, but it also has helped us design meetings that we have with our clients and our trade partners. We start handling them the same way when we come with a regular agenda. We talk about the same things. We know what we're going to do in advance. We know how to measure it. And so it helps us on a daily basis in our work. And then it helps us grow when we come meet with Clay because we know we have to do our homework and show up and be able to answer the questions and study and analyze the answers.
Now, Staires, I'm going to turn it over to you because you guys work together weekly. I just wanted to kind of hit those questions that I get asked a lot from potential clients.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Brian, hey, I first of all want to congratulate you guys on your big win just this last week, winning the Tulsa Parade of Homes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We were very proud of that. It's always fun to win.
Yeah, you guys actually won another award there too, right? Wasn't it the?
Yes, we also won the best interior design. So when the judges come through, they're judging the overall house and that impact, but they also look at the interior design, and we won on that award as well.
Fantastic. Judging you. It doesn't sound like a safe environment when those judges come in. So
no, it's not a safe environment, but you have to put yourself out there sometimes so you can win.
Yeah.
And that's not, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's not the only Parade of Homes award you've received over the years. How many are you up to now from the parade?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. We've been in the Parade of Homes for over 30 years, and we've been able to do that consistently. So several years and multiple years we've won in different categories and in different places, but we've done it in the last 10 years. We've probably won 8 or 10 times.
Fantastic.
That's hot sauce.
Yeah. And Brian, I'd like for you to talk a little bit as well. You're a family business, literally family business. You have your son and your son-in-law and your daughter-in-law working with you as well. How have we been able to help you navigate that minefield with working with your family?
I think it's the having systems. When you're working with family, you have close relationships, trying to call out people to accountability is a little kind of a sticky wicket. But if you have a system, you can just ask a question. Do we have a system for that? Did you follow the system for that? And then that can lead you into the right conversations, and you don't have to be challenging each other personally. You're challenging the system. Are we working the system? Is it working for us? And that makes it a lot easier on a daily basis. And we have that conversation all the time about, do we have a system for that? Let's write a system for that. Let's follow the system for that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's one of the things that at the Leadership Initiative, Clay, I know you begin to see this as well. When our clients begin to talk through the lens of systems, and begin to ask that question, do we have a system for that? That's when you know that you're actually beginning to think like a manager.
Your love language.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting away from just the emotional, oh no, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And beginning to think systematically. So that has been one thing that I've really enjoyed about working with you and your team, and how you guys are consistently each week putting more and more systems together.
Now, Brian, I want to interject this, and then we'll go to Sean here. What I find is that successful business owners, they like to bore down on the details, and people that are not successful tend to struggle with boredom, and they want to move on to a new thing. And so the natural current, again, according to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail. So as a coach, our job is to coach you down a proven path. And so there's a lot of repetitive things we have to go over every week. We need to gather Google reviews from your happy customers. We need to gather video reviews from your happy customers. And those Google reviews and video reviews are what we would call online reputation. And so when a potential buyer then thinks about working with you, they can find your reputation easily. Yeah. And so whereas before, you may have had to tell the customer, hey, I've built this many houses and here are some phone numbers, but now those testimonials are unearthed and the real people are here on display, on camera, on video, and you're building multi-million-dollar homes. Can you talk about how the video reviews and the Google reviews that we go over every week have impacted your sales process?
Oh, tremendously. When we have people come in, when we used to have people come into our office to hear about our process and how we build homes, they didn't know us. They didn't know what we were going to do. They didn't know what to expect. Now when they come in, they've already seen it. They've already heard a video from me. They've already seen our clients telling them about us. So it's a lot easier to be able to then get back down to the brass tacks of what it's going to be like to build their house. They're already believing in us. And that value of them believing in us in advance is just immeasurable.
So and again, this is just something I want to get your thoughts, because I work with so many home builders all over the country. And Aaron Antis once said this, and he runs a company called Shaw Homes, which, by the way, we don't work with two people that do the same thing in each city.
Right.
And I reached out to Aaron when you guys were talking about working with each other. And I asked Aaron, is it okay if we work with another home builder in Tulsa? And Aaron goes, oh, absolutely. Brian has a stellar reputation, and he doesn't do what we do. He builds custom houses. And that's who you got. We do. Shaw is more of you buy in a neighborhood, where you guys customize. Well, anyway, Aaron told me, he said, Clay, when we used to have people that would reach out to us, they used to have a lot of questions and were very unsure of working with us. And he said, now that we have all these video reviews and Google reviews you've helped us gather over the past 6 or 7 years, people are pretty much going in from like, I don't know, if we're comparing you to 5 or 6 other builders to, we've pretty much already made the decision before we've even reached out. Are you hearing that at all? Or is that just unique to maybe Shaw?
We broke ground this morning on a new project, about a $4 million house. And when the people walked in, they said, we saw you online and we knew you were the guy. We just felt that that was what we needed to do. So when we came here, we wanted to work with you. And they found us by reaching out and seeing us online. We had never met them before. And when they walked in the door, they said, let's go. And that's amazing to me. I didn't believe you guys when you told me that would happen. I thought that couldn't happen.
Nobody does.
Now, and then final question, I have to go to Sean here. I have a lot of builders, and I'm going to send this to them today.
Yes, I've got builders and just other clients that are they bought Clay on this one area of getting Google reviews and getting video testimonials. Oh, I just don't have time, Clay. I don't know. That's weird.
And every one of my clients that gets Google reviews, I mean, they win. The pizza business I work with in Florida, Papagallo's.
They
told me people are driving 30 miles to get pizza because it's the highest rated pizza place in Florida.
It works.
So what would you say to somebody out there who's a little bit resistant? Maybe they're kind of reminding you, maybe your first meeting with Clay Staires, and there's a little, you're trying to figure it out. What would you say to anybody that's a little resistant to getting objective video reviews and Google reviews from actual clients?
I think it's invaluable. We're spending quite a bit of time doing that. And it's amazing to me that when you ask people, they will actually do it. I was very resistant to that. But when you start asking them, and you start asking them, what do you think about our product? How do you like our home? What do you like about Brian D. Wiggs Homes? They will tell you. And it's like, that's amazing that they will tell other people. You're just standing there listening to it. Sometimes it's embarrassing that they say such good things. But it's like, wow, let's get that out there.
Now, Sean, you work with a lot of wonderful clients. You also assist working with Brian Wiggs. What question would you have for Brian?
Well, Brian, do you recall the first group interview at Brian D. Wiggs Homes that we did?
I do. Those were some amazing and crazy interviews.
So the group interview is something that I'm always astounded that people haven't heard of it. I've got the curse of knowledge now. It's just such a useful tool. But I think there were about 30 people there. We couldn't even fit them inside your little office. We had to do it on the front porch on your Main Street office in Jigs. Out of that effort of like having to grow your team, maybe a little bit beyond your family there, and having to look outside of that, how has that process worked out, and how did the group interview kind of come into play for that?
The group interview was great. It was awkward. I had to change my mindset, like I mentioned earlier, because you're working through a great number of people. I didn't think as many people would show up as they did, but we did the way you told us to do it. And so then we really did have 30 people. We couldn't get them in our building, and we went outside, and I stood out basically in the street on Main Street and yelled at 30 people and asked them questions. But ultimately, we hired a new woman that has just been fantastic. She fits us perfectly. She's almost like family. So how'd that happen? I don't know, but the group interview certainly led us to it. That's where she came from.
I love it.
Now, you, one thing that you and Clay Staires have, and I'm not just saying this because you're both here. This is a real thing.
You say that to all the people.
No, there are times you see me sometimes get into altercations with people. You've seen it.
Clay, I have seen it. Yes.
I don't avoid combat, or conflict. So, no, seriously,
not combat.
Well, it is sometimes both. It's combative, but you speak highly of Brian Wiggs when he's not here.
Yeah,
and you always praise the quality of his work.
Yeah,
and without reservation, you praise him. But if people can't find him, what we feel about him doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's
So I'm-
really good, Clay.
So I'm having a lot of people that I'm running into now that are reaching out to me and they go, hey, I saw your wife as a testimonial. And this has happened multiple times. Hey, I've seen your wife testimonial on Brian D. Wiggs website. Do you really like him? And I go, oh yeah. He's like, well, okay. And I'm getting a lot of that. How rewarding is that for you, Brian, now that you're finally, after years of building homes, you're finally starting to have new people that you did not know previously finding you online? What's that been like for you, sir?
Yeah.
Well, it's been really good because we've taken a lot of pride in the product that we produce. We think we built the great houses. I've been doing this for 35 years. I'm very proud of it. But when people can't find me, that they don't even know me, then they go build with somebody else, and I see the house going up. I'm thinking, why didn't you come to me? I'm the one that builds the great houses.
Yeah.
But they didn't know me. So that being able to get it online and find me has just been amazing for us. It's like they can finally get out and we can put our product out to a lot more people.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian, you and I, going back to the mindset, you and I have spent quite a bit of time, even outside of our weekly meeting, talking about this journey that you've been on in just changing your mindset. Huge visionary, big visionary, loving the big vision, and struggling with a lot of times the minutia and the details and everything. But if somebody else were in this same spot, if we had other clients that were really getting stuck in that emotional phase and getting stuck with that mindset, what would be some of the things that you did to help press through and change the way you think, to allow you to be able to take these steps that you've taken at Brian D. Wiggs Homes?
Well, we do deal with the emotional dragon a lot here, and each of us have had to deal with that. And we've even started sharing that with our clients. Go, hey, the emotional dragon is going to pop up here. Be ready for it. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit us. And so we know how to work through it. But the way we work through it is when we create these processes.
Yeah.
And we write them down. Okay, what is it that I do on a daily basis? Where do I run into that emotional dragon? And then I work out ways that I can be prepared and go, okay, what's my system? And we'll work through that. So it's back to the process, back to the system is what helps us overcome that emotional dragon.
Yeah, I've been very proud of you and your sons, as you guys have been able to work more and more and follow, not just put them together, but follow your systems in your company. So.
Now, I want to go to Sean next year. I've got one more question for you. Being present is a present. And a lot of people are not present, but they are physically present. Let me try again. So there's a lot of people who, and thankfully I've got a wonderful roster of clients that mentally participate in what we're doing, so I don't have these problems. But there are people that, they want to do their weekly coaching call while eating a salad, while on the road.
Yeah.
And what I do is that's why I only take on 160 clients. That's why we have a limited number of clients that Clay Staires takes on, because if someone's coachable, it's very easy to work with them. Mm-hmm. But when you have somebody who's clearly eating a salad, clearly at lunch, clearly mentally at lunch, and physically at lunch while trying to do your weekly call, because most of our clients are not in Tulsa, it makes it almost impossible. And I love the idea that you mentally participate. Can you maybe talk as a coaching client, what kind of is on the receiving end of the coaching? How much time do you have to block out for that weekly meeting? And what does that look like?
Well, we meet with Clay for an hour once a week. Sometimes we'll meet with him in his office. Sometimes we'll catch each other on the road. But when we do, we stop and we're 100% present for that period of time. And just being, I don't know I could do it unless I was 100% present. Many times Clay's sharing ideas with me. I'm like, okay, wait a second. So what you're saying is, and I can repeat it back and then finally work through it. But it takes that, I got to be paying attention to it. I'm a slow learner. So I got to work through it piece at a time.
Sean, any final question you would have for Brian D. Wiggs? Again, that website, folks, I'll make sure I put it on the show notes. That's briandwiggs.com. He could be a male model, but he's not. It's briandwiggs.com.
It's a good-looking man.
He's a real person, real business, yes. briandwiggs.com. He's not a hired actor. Sean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, more than a question, I just wanted to bring up at the beginning how you and Clay Staires met. You guys met at the chamber, but actually you hold a special place in my heart, Brian, because you were the first person that I cold called off of the Tulsa Home Builders Association list to start getting clients for Clay Staires.
Wow.
As I came into the business over 6 years ago. And you said yes. You were the first guy that was like, yeah, I'll meet with Clay. And I was like, it works. Literally
I
changed
remember
my
that phone call, Sean. I remember where I was sitting in front of one of my projects. Phone call came in. I started talking about it, and it seemed like it was the right time for us to start growing.
That's great. And I remember our first meeting down at Utica Square, sitting at lunch together. I remember that forever ago.
That's
Now,
right.
the way it works with Clay Staires and I, it all starts with that initial phone call. It starts with scheduling a consultation and just scheduling a free assessment to see if someone's a good fit. What would you say to anybody out there considering working with Clay Staires and Sean and the coaches and working with them? What would you say?
I'd say give it some time to come in and hear what they have to say and really listen. Like you just said, be 100% present, even in those first moments. Because I remember asking Clay, I said, okay, if what you say is true, I'll do this. And he goes, trust me, if you'll do what I say, it will work. And that was the truth.
Yeah.
Now, you have 3 monitors and a circular table. I'm not sure what percentage of your success is attributed to that.
And he's got his name. He's got his name on his table.
Do the listeners have to have a custom table to be successful, Brian?
You don't have to do that, but it helps.
Okay, nice. Brian,
you can get there faster. You can get there faster if you do that.
And folks, we live in the house that Brian built, and the way I did that, and Brian can attest to this, I'm sure. I told my wife, you design it how you want so that you're happy with the house that you built. I get the pool, though.
There you go. And can we talk about the pool?
The pool's an incredible thing.
We got to go to the pool.
And my wife, though, she really, really loves it. And there's not a day that goes by that she doesn't compliment it or give someone a tour. She's always proud. And we've built multiple houses, but this is the favorite home that we've lived in. So thank you on behalf of my wife and our family. I appreciate you very much, Brian. And again, folks, if you're looking to build a home and you happen to be in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, that's briandwiggs.com. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. We really do appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Take care, brother.
See you.
See you.